We're going to work on foot and hip articulations. So getting into that little nitty-gritty movements that you might find in an Essentrics class. So let's start with our feet. We're going to have the toes pointing forward. We're going to bend the knees slightly. So my knee bend right now is limited by my ankle motion. So it's not terribly deep. And then I'm going to lift my heels. And then I'm going to lengthen up by sending my hips forward over my ankle joint. And then I'm going to rest my ankle joint down. This time I'm going to rise up. And now I'm going to go back to that position where we found ourselves earlier with the knees bent. Then I'm going to send the heels down, lengthen the legs. So we are bending through the knees, lifting the heels. So this is going to work the big toes. Watch that your ankles aren't rolling to the outside. Coming down. Good. Lengthening up onto the heels or onto the toes. Let the knees unlock. Keep the tail slightly out, belly in as we bend the knees, and then the heels come down. Next one we're going to try is called the bicycle. This is a hip articulation. And we're going to be working this hip joint here. So the hip joint is the ball and socket inside the pelvis. We're going to extend the leg. We're going to flex the foot. We're going to draw the leg in. Now here is the part where you have to think about keeping your abs pulled in as you bend that knee. Try not to stick out your tail. We're going to stretch the quad. So this will work to extend and lengthen the hamstring. Then as we lengthen up and bring the leg back, if we keep that tail down, bend the knee, we're going to get a little bit of a quad stretch and maybe a bit of hamstring strength. Good. Let's try the other side. Nice and tall, feet about hip width apart, bend that knee. I like to bend that standing leg sometimes. Flex the foot, draw the foot down. Keep that tail under as you bend the knee back. Out, extend, flex the foot. So there's a little extra articulation there, movement of that joint. Bend that knee, keep the tail under. Good, shake it out. And now we're going to use my little handy dandy broom here. And I'm going to work on, I'm going to put this in the other hand, hip cleaners. Because we are working combined movements now. I'm rotating in, bending the hip forward, rotating out, bringing the hip back. So adduction, internal rotation, out or external rotation, working that hip joint. So little fine movements in the joint to work on joint mobility. So let's turn that knee in, turn it open, cross the back. And likely you're going to find that there is one hip that moves a little bit better than the other.